this thing is, dude.
It just changed my life. I look at things a whole lot different now. When it comes down to floods or tornadoes or hurricanes or whatever may be the case, man.
Natural disasters are anything from blizzards to tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, and tsunamis. Later on, we'll discuss all of these and their differences. We will also learn how these encounters affected us and shaped the world as we know it today. So what exactly is a natural disaster? A natural disaster is any type of weather, thing, or happenings that occur naturally that cause devastating or disastrous events. So how do natural disaster encounters affect us? Well, they affect every aspect of our lives. Where we live, how we live, maybe even how long we live. For example, many scientists believe that the dinosaurs may have been killed by a meteor, which is a natural disaster. The events following that meteor were tsunamis, earthquakes, violent changes in the weather that they could not survive. And this Discovery Dinosaurs animation shows just how real the struggle was for dinosaurs coping with these type of natural disasters, proving the encounters too tough for the giant creatures. Now back to the human side of stuff. Natural disasters, they can affect the economy by us having to spend money just to repair places that natural disasters strike. For example, they cost billions and billions of dollars a year. Furthermore, they affect how we live by them affecting the certain locations. Like hurricanes affect beaches and how earthquakes affect fall lines. They also affect how we make buildings and how we have to make them more able to cope with the natural disasters that are prone to that location. It's also more likely that less people would live in a zone where natural disasters happen often. So let's get into the specifics of these natural disasters, what they are, and what they can do. Tornadoes are a mobile, destructive vortex of violently rotating winds, having the appearance of a funnel-shaped cloud and advancing beneath a large storm system. In the video, you can see the El Reno tornado. It was 2.6 miles wide, the widest tornado ever recorded. It was also rated an EF5 on the Enhanced Fujita scale. You might be asking, what is the Enhanced Fujita scale? Well, the Enhanced Fujita scale is a scale used to measure how strong tornadoes are. This scale starts at EF0 and goes all the way up to EF5. An EF5 tornado can have winds past 200 miles per hour. Tornadoes have an important history and have even had their part in affecting wars. For example, during the War of 1812 on August 24, 1814, the British had set fire to the White House, Capitol, and other federal buildings. The following day, the arson continued until a drenching 2-hour thunderstorm extinguished the flames. The massive storm spawned a rare tornado that blew roofs off buildings, buckled a bridge over the Potomac River, and even lifted 2 cannons off the ground. According to the National Weather Service, flying debris from the tornado killed more British soldiers than American guns did during their brief occupation of the nation's capital. Now, on to the next natural disaster, the bigger, but not yet as powerful, hurricane. No, not that type of hurricanes. this type of hurricanes. A hurricane is a large tropical system with high-powered circular winds. The video you see is of Hurricane Patricia, the strongest ever recorded hurricane on Earth. It reached wind speeds of 200 miles per hour, which is a Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, before it made landfall in Mexico. Hurricane encounters can leave widespread flooding, damage all over, and destruction across a wider area. Even though they may be weaker, they are much bigger in size and affect more of an area than just around the eye. Not only was that tornado the only factor of the War of 1812, but there was a hurricane that actually spawned the tornado during that War of 1812 in 1814. This helped drive the British soldiers away from Washington, D.C., and eventually saving the city from any further catastrophe. If not for the encounter of these natural disasters, the British probably would have regained control of the colonies in the War of 1812, and we would have still been under British control today. Now on to floods. A flood is an overflowing of a large amount of water beyond its normal confines, especially over what is normally dry land. In the video you see above, you see the Ocmulgee River when it flooded just earlier this year, in January. I took this video myself to see how high the river had gotten, and I found out that the river was the highest it's been since the flood of '94. This video shows you a first-hand encounter with flooding. So what was the flood of '94? The flood of '94 was caused by this tropical storm Alberto. It came through as the first named tropical system of the 1994 hurricane season. It was notably also the costliest of that season. Alberto caused river flooding and destruction, much like the video you saw of the Ocmulgee River, but way, way, way worse. Take this bridge for example. Look at it. Looks nice. This is the bridge today. During the flood of '94, well, the water was all the way over the bridge. So, again, this disaster affected how people live by the condition they had to live in, where they lived because some of them became homeless, and even if they lived because it claimed some lives. Additionally, we have earthquakes and tsunamis. An earthquake is a sudden and violent shaking of the ground, sometimes causing great destruction, as a result of movements within the Earth's crust or volcanic action. And a tsunami is a long, high sea wave caused by an earthquake, submarine landslide, or other disturbance. In summary, natural disasters are very dangerous events that shouldn't be taken lightly, and should be taken serious, and warning should be taken heed of. So in conclusion, natural disasters affect every aspect of our lives, sometimes without us even noticing. These phenomena are dangerous and are only going to get worse, so it is important to have a plan and be ready for anything and everything thrown your way. Natural disasters, they are all each. It's important to decide where we live because of where these disasters affect, how we live because of how these disasters affect us, and even if we live, because if you're caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can end up dead. And this is how natural disasters encounters affect us.